Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. This is John Frenay, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. The Anne Arundel County Fire Department is looking for help from the public to identify a suspect in the arson fire recently at the Quiet Waters Park. It happened in the house that's on the Quiet Waters Annex, which was just purchased by the county several months ago. The suspect was captured on video and in still photos near the scene. You want to go to eyeonannapolis.net to check them out. In the video, he does look like a male teen with black Adidas hoodie shirt, listening to an iPhone or an iPod with the earbuds in his ears. He is wearing long pants. They're kind of light-colored. Might be jeans or they could be chinos. Anybody that has any information regarding who that might be or any information on the incident itself is asked to contact the Anne Arundel County Fire Department Fire and Explosives Investigation Unit. You can do it anonymously at 410-222-8477. And not that COVID has been out of the news, but here's a little bit of information that you want to pay attention to. As of October 1st, utility companies in Maryland were able to send utility shutoff notices to consumers. However, the Maryland Public Service Commission has prohibited any kind of residential utility shutoffs, gas, water, electric, from happening until at least November 15th. So you've got a little bit of time there if you have a shutoff notice. This gives you time to work out a payment plan with the utility, and if you are behind in the utility payment plans, you need to act immediately to make sure that your service does not get disconnected. You can go to eyeonannapolis.net. We've got a list of the places that you can go for emergency assistance, but you can call the utility directly and work out a payment plan with them. If you work out a payment plan or find financial assistance, the PSC has ordered that your service will not be disconnected. Any payment plan that you do work out with a company that's regulated by the PSC is required to offer at minimum a 12-month repayment plan. They also may not collect a down payment or a deposit as a requirement of that plan. The moral of this story is do not wait to reach out for help. If you have a shutoff notice, contact the people that issued it and set up a payment plan. As far as going back to school, Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman supported the reopening of schools until he didn't. In a town hall last night, he argued his position, bolstered by Dr. Colin Arman, to two board members as well as the head of the teachers union, asking them to reconsider their decision to bring students back into school as early as November. A lot of this does seem to hinge on the health metrics that currently are not being met. I don't know what the board can do to reconsider, considering that they already approved it, unless the health department shuts it down entirely. Stay tuned to the never-ending saga of will we go back to school or won't we go back to school? Well, while we don't know about whether we will or will not be going back to school, I can tell you we will not be going to the Maryland City Library branch, at least for today. The Anne Arundel County Public Library System announced that an employee at the Maryland City branch tested positive for COVID-19. That staffer was in the building on Saturday, October 10th, and began experiencing symptoms while at work. Currently, the library is closed today for an enhanced cleaning and to allow for other employees to get tested. I don't know, it seems strange. There's an awful lot of library cases, considering that they've all been on sort of a reduced service program for the last couple months. Maybe this is some good news for the Army-Navy game in December. Initially, Philadelphia said no events until February and no fans would be in the stands at the link. Well, yesterday the City of Brotherly Love said they will relax its limits on event capacity beginning Friday, which will allow the Eagles to bring fans to the link when they play the Ravens on Sunday. The relaxed rules will allow a maximum of 7,500 people at outdoor venues with a maximum occupancy of more than 10,000 people. As a result, the Eagles are going to limit stadium capacity for their games to 7,500, a figure that does include players, coaches, teams, stadium personnel, media, and fans. Tailgating, of course, is prohibited, but this might mean that Army-Navy might still be able to be played at the link in Philadelphia. And with that capacity, it seems that you might be able to get about half of the brigade and half of the corps in the stadium, along with the teams, coaches, stadium personnel, media, etc. And finally, don't forget, leave a rating or a review of the Daily News Brief before Friday for a chance to win a signed copy of Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse, a Chesapeake Bay icon, which is the new book by Dave Gendell. If you didn't hear it, go listen to the podcast we did with Dave, dropped last weekend. It was pretty interesting. And just by recommending the Daily News Brief on Facebook or Twitter and using the hashtag EOADNB, so it'd be hashtag EOADNB, you might score a $25 gift card to Chesepiooc Real Ale Brewery. We are going to pick the winners on Friday. They will be announced next Monday. All right, that does wrap it up for us today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net for updates to these stories and more. As I told you, leave a rating or a review if you possibly can, and make sure your friends, family, and colleagues all know how to get a hold of us. Other than that, hang tight. We have George Young with your local DC MDVA weather forecast. He's coming up in just 1 minute. And here is Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, October 14th. After yesterday's gradual improvements, which brought some late PM sunshine back to the Annapolis region, today will deliver tons of sun and afternoon highs in the 70s for all of Anne Arundel County. More of the same expected Thursday before another cold front moves into the region from the west on Friday with more clouds and showers likely, along with cooler temps in the 60s before a sunny but cool weekend with highs in the upper 50s to lower maybe mid-60s, along with AM lows each day in the upper 30s to mid-40s. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA weather in the Apple or Google App Store. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day at DCMDVAweather.com. so you can always stay weather informed.
Annapolis may be Maryland's state capital, but it's also the sailing capital of the world. And whether you call Naptown home or are just planning a visit, a cruise on the Annapolis Maritime Museum's newly restored skipjack, the Wilma Lee, is a perfect opportunity to sit back, relax, and let the wind carry you across the water. Whether you're looking for front row seats to the Wednesday night sailing races, a guided sailing heritage tour, or an evening cruise to enjoy the extraordinary sunsets over the Chesapeake, a cruise aboard the historic Wilma Lee is the perfect way to connect the bay through both cultural and ecological lenses. The Annapolis Maritime Museum is making sure all safety protocols are undertaken, including social distancing and requiring masks while boarding. And the boat is open air, allowing plenty of space to socially distance. Tickets are available at amaritime.org. Private cruises are also available. Visit amaritime.org for more information.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.